On Sports Central, the coaches back-to-back for In Vogue. Top people in two stories.
On 882 6PR.
Yeah, terrific traction for Monday night on Sports Central back-to-back coaches. Let's go to Fremantle. G'day, Ross Lyon.
Good, Brad. Hello.
Going really well, mate. I mean, you contain your emotions pretty well, but I think even you got a bit of a smile out of that game on the weekend.
Yeah, well, it's always nice to win the first one of the year. Sort of try and get some confidence out of what you've been practicing all summer, and then go in the next week with a little bit of confidence behind you.
Our mate, so much opinion about Ballantyne, other players, our listeners. A poofter punch, says Basil. He says Frank. He says Basil Campbell would have punched him back to Fremantle Oval. In the end, Ross, you'd be unhappy because your player is on the sidelines for 2 weeks at the moment.
Yeah, you never want your players sitting in the grandstands with injury or suspension if they're avoidable. So, at the end of the day, I thought Ballantyne. Hayden was really good for us, probably a bit better than I thought even post-game, watching it back a couple of times, and I thought he was a real significant sort of catalyst for the way we win, and he was a real team leader, and love the way he goes about it.
A lot of discussion and debate about, is it good, isn't it good for the game, etc. How do you handle it now? Do you want him to pull up, or do you want him to just moderate it a little bit? How do you respond to the way he went about his footy on the weekend?
Oh, well, there's a couple of simple things. I think a lot of hyperbole about it, a lot of rah-rah. At the end of the day, you win him and wear him, and he copped his fair share, and sometimes you dish a little bit out, and at the end of the day, Geelong have won 3 premierships for a reason, and as they would describe themselves, they're ruthless, and they take no prisoners, and, it's a David Park, and just pass it on. So at the end of the day, you've got to stand your ground. We certainly respect Geelong, but we won't be intimidated by anyone. So we want to be an uncompromising team ourselves, and I thought we were that on Saturday night. Yeah,
your hardness was terrific. Were you surprised, though, at the reaction from Scarlett? I mean, that reminded me of a few of your former Fitzroy teammates.
Well, to be honest, I don't get caught up in it too much when you've been around a while, a bit of push and shove and move on. You think, beauty, got a free kick, and then you think, oh, not so good, we've given one away. And I think both teams had some 50s that they'd rather have back, and you're trying to be sort of clinical in your approach to your aggression, and at times it's a cauldron out there and emotions spill over, and I think Geelong they've got the score on the board with their premierships, and we're just a young team trying to make our way, so we all live and we learn, and we're always trying to improve, all of us.
You've been coaching a long time now. I mean, you have a feeling, a sense of how you think the boys might go. Were you even taken aback with the 5 goals a zip start?
Well, you can never quantify the start, but we certainly trained and practice in a manner to get out of the block. So I think there's a reward for effort there, and I thought we were really bold and attacked the game. And just looking at the figures, they were the highest contested ball team for the round with 165. So it was based on a good foundation of competing. We weren't downhill skiing; we were really winning the ball and then spreading really quickly. And I thought it's really hard round one. They sit off you and watch you for a long time, and we sit off them. And the assistant coaches flew down to Cardinia Park, their last practice game, flying out at 5:30 a.m. So the players and coaches invested a lot, and as a group we worked together, and fortunately got reward for effort.
Your thinking behind Michael Barlow, you just wanted to ease him in, and he had real impact once you injected him into the game. But obviously you felt with his training that was enough for him to be given for the start?
Yeah, it was just a really nice mix for him, wasn't it? He sort of 13 possessions, 10 in the last quarter, and, he's really well respected around here. Obviously, he's been through an enormous challenge over 18 months, and he's feeling as good as he has since the injury. So we knew it was all training for him, but we train and simulate our training to reflect the game, and we're really confident that if someone went down in the first 5 minutes, it would have been hard for him, but we know he was capable. And in the end, sometimes you do the right thing on selection, and sometimes, right and wrong. And this week, the match committee got it right, and Michael duly delivered for his teammates.
I think the other thing you got right too, and it was a great lesson for all the fans, the scribes and everybody, was your patience and your commitment to the Pavlich experiment, to play him forward essentially. I know he had a bit of a run here and there, but it paid off in the end, didn't it? I mean, to come up with 17 possessions and 3 goals, and 3 very valuable goals at that.
Yeah, I just think there was a real mix to them, and we're quite tall with Clark and Bradley, and Pav, and at times Aaron down there. So certainly a taller front half, and I think it was just Matthew contributed, but I didn't think he needed to be the best player on the ground for us to win. So we want to share the load and take that mantle really away from Aaron and Matthew, and just make sure that, you know, we spread the load and it's a real weight of numbers performance. And I think we really got that. You know, I know everyone contributed when they needed to. You know.
How are Aaron's ribs, by the way?
Yeah, well, a bit like Luke McFarlane's ribs reported last week. Nothing wrong with them. So.
Hey Ross,
about 30s, eh?
You were inside, but this is David Mundy here knocking on the door. Did you see him at half time? He said he'd been telling you for the last 2 weeks he's all right. What about this week?
He was ripping open the coach's box door. Everyone wants to play when you're 5 up. You know? When you're 5 down, they're less confident.
But what about this week?
As I said, he's a possibility. More unlikely than likely, but he's certainly not out of the realms. I mean, but we'll see how he goes on the track. I'm a patient man.
Could you not do with him what you did with Barlow?
Yeah, we could. I mean, everything's possible. But certainly, there's players. I know we really rewarded pre-season form and effort, and everyone that went down the race had really booked their spot. So, yeah, we like to win and lose together, but I mean, every week you've got to pick a team for the opposition. So, obviously, Sydney are a different proposition again. But yeah, he's highly respected, being a winner. I mean, he's an elite talent. So, we'd love to get him in, but it's just a matter of when. But I don't make all the decisions. We sort of work by consensus down here. So.
And you having the ultimate word. And basically, you spent a bit of time in Sydney. How different is it, the makeup of your lineup this week? Because Subi, the wide expanses, you know, bigger, you know, pacier players probably coming into vogue. Does anybody come to mind that might be, you know, in the running?
They do. Look, Jay Van Burlo, really big heavy body, contested ball, was one of the best for his Waffle club. That's coaching at the minute. Might have been East Perth. I'm sort of getting used to all that. And Dylan Robertson's strung together 3 in a row. And then you got Anthony Grover. You know, does he come in to play on, you know, third tall and free up like an Ibbotson midfield? So they're the obvious ones with form, I reckon. So, and then Pitt, Jaden, who was the emergency, who's had a pretty good summer. So look, it is a smaller ground, and they're a strong contested ball team. So strong bodies are the measure on the inside, and a bit of pace on the outside. So obviously, Hayden going down, we haven't got too many game breakers like that, so we'll sorely miss him, but everyone's got to step up and win without him.
Van Burlo for West Perth, of course, and that comeback.
I suppose.
Yeah, you were. They beat East Perth. 23 points down, they were too. Hey, Mellington was really good, and one of the listeners has just SMS'd through, what sort of role are you going to be playing McPhee in this season?
Well, just where he's played all summer, down back and on the wing, and here we can tag. So yeah, no revelations there. He basically played back 6 and wing all last week, and we know he can go on ball. So yeah, that's about where he sits.
We put it to you across the pre-season, and when we spoke to you once, that you needed to aim for about 100 points plus. You got that. I mean, it seemed to be the trend of football right across the weekend, Ross. There wasn't too many low-scoring games, not too many arm wrestles.
Well, I didn't take much notice of it, really. I think you just play what's put in front of you. Certainly, I think the beauty of Aussie rules is they're not all going to be low scoring, they're all going to be high scoring, and, you know, like there's some sports out there, there's no competition for possession. So rugby league, you have a go and we'll have a go, and some other basketball goes up and down one end. But I think the beauty is there's lots of different styles, and the game throws up different things round one. So, it really is a reflection of the press. If you get pinned, you can't get out. So it's forced really quick ball movement and attacking systems. So, you know, hopefully that trend will continue.
Good on you, Ross. Thanks for your time tonight. Really appreciate it. Speak to you next Monday.
No worries, Brad. Cheers, guys.
Good luck, mate.
Ross Lyon there from the Fremantle Dockers.